Okay, sorry for the false alarm. We were here like 3 minutes ago, and as we went live, we got a note from our friends at StreamYard that our Facebook account wasn't connected because, hey, our Facebook account is growing. So many of you are watching the Lowdown presented by layman's.com that they now require some kind of super secret authentication factor before Facebook will allow StreamYard to broadcast live. But I think we've got it taken care of. So here comes a March 25th edition of the Lowdown presented by our friends at Layman's. Get your Layman's gift card. There is less than a week left in the month of March. Will it go out like a lion, out like a lamb? I don't know, but you could check out with a $50 Layman's gift card if you send me an entry to pressproscontest@gmail.com. Just shoot the email off and your email address will be registered. And if we pull your name end of the month, you'll get the $50 gift card like a Press Pros reader in Covington did last month. Okay, so shout out to defense. Yes, to defense. I'm getting to DeShaun Watson in a minute. We're getting to offense in a minute. But shout out to old school basketball defense, because if you watched the Sweet 16 last night and you saw Arkansas defeat Gonzaga, and if you saw Houston defeat Arizona, well, you saw the two teams that were in my national championship game on my bracket go down, and they went down because of defense. Arkansas and Houston played great defense. And it's nice to know that defense travels. Why is that nice to know? Because as a guy who appreciates the nuances of basketball, you can win with defense when you don't have elite offensive talent. Now, I think Arkansas has better offensive talent than does Houston. Houston could probably still lose to Villanova because Nova's going to make some shots, assuming Houston's defense doesn't keep them from making shots. Arkansas could win just on offense and a little bit of defense against Duke. I'm actually surprised Duke got past Texas Tech. Of course I'm surprised. I had Arizona and I had Gonzaga, but everybody's bracket is busted. Thankfully, Villanova beat Michigan, so I don't have to worry about Michigan getting to the Elite Eight and having to hear about that chirping all year. So NCAA tournament games more tonight. We'll see if Kansas survives, because at this juncture, not looking good for the number one seeds. Okay, the Browns today introduced their new quarterback, DeShaun Watson, their $230 million man. And a couple things struck me. The Browns have been looking for the guy at quarterback since they came back into the NFL in 1999. They drafted Tim Couch as their first draft pick in the newly constituted Browns, hoping he would be a transformative franchise changer. He proved not to be. The Browns drafted Brandon Weeden in the first round. The Browns drafted Johnny Manziel in the first round. And the Browns drafted Baker Mayfield overall. The Browns had the chance to draft Carson Wentz, and they didn't draft Carson Wentz. They had the chance to draft, what do you know, DeShaun Watson, and they traded that right to Houston, who picked him. But after playing really well, DeShaun Watson's career in Houston and his off-field life kind of went south. And so he's introduced in Cleveland today. And the Browns now are positive, or should be. They have their quarterback of the future. They guaranteed him $230 million. They renegotiated a renegotiated deal from Houston. And instead of being able to come out and exult in the acquisition of DeShaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns have to come out and do everything but apologize for signing DeShaun Watson. Now, hear me out on this. I'm not saying they shouldn't apologize for signing DeShaun Watson. I'm just saying, what could be more Browns than them finally getting a guy who they've clearly invested draft capital, 3 number ones, I think a 3 and a 5 or a 4 or whatever, and actual capital, $230 million worth of it, and they can't come out and take a victory lap? No. Instead, we heard that they were aware this would trigger a range of emotions. We heard that this transaction has been very difficult. We heard that it's been a 5-month odyssey. And we heard that, they are positive that DeShaun can be an asset to the community. But they understand why this is a high bar for some people to get over. So it's just, what other franchise could finally get the generational, like how many people have grown up waiting for the Cleveland Browns to not be a laughingstock, to not be looking for a quarterback. There was like that, year and a half window in there with Baker Mayfield where everybody was like, we got the guy. Then, of course, now they realized they didn't have the guy in Baker Mayfield. They got the guy, they think, in DeShaun Watson. They've made an unbelievable commitment to him, and they can't come out and celebrate it, which that is quintessential Browns, right? I was also amused. And again, I'm not endorsing this acquisition. I will columnize on this later at PressProsMagazine.com. Look for it in the morning. But somebody asked Jimmy Haslam, the Browns owner, this afternoon, Mr. Haslam, there are people who are saying that after covering this team since it came back in the league in 1999, they are, for the first time in their life, embarrassed to be a Browns fan. And I'm like, for the first time in your life, you're embarrassed to be a Browns fan? Like, not when you went 0-16, not when you went 1-31, not when you had every possible front office dysfunction of all time, not when your GM Ray Farmer was texting the sidelines, begging his head coach Mike Pettin to play Johnny Manziel instead of Brian Hoyer, not when you lost a football game after you won it because Dwayne Rudd took his helmet off to celebrate and threw it, and that's a penalty, and it moved the opponent closer to the field goal that they then made after missing it to give the Browns the win, which became a loss because Dwayne Rudd threw his helmet, not after fans rained bottles on the field. None of that got you to the point where you're embarrassed to be a Browns fan, and I could go on. Losing a game on Monday Night Football to the Baltimore Ravens, the real Cleveland Browns, when you were lining up to kick the game-winning field goal and got it blocked and run all the way back for a touchdown, like none of that got you to the point where you were embarrassed to be a Browns fan. But this got you to the point where you were embarrassed to be a Browns fan. Okay, you might be able to discern that I am somewhat skeptical about the staying power of the criticism for signing DeShaun Watson. I will explain that further in the column that I write for PressProsMagazine.com. But I just thought it was quintessential Browns today that they got their guy and they can't even be happy about it. Okay, what do we have coming for you on the site? We have baseball, chilly baseball, frigid baseball, icy baseball from Purdue. 17-1 Purdue. Sonny Folks is there. He will cover. He will have great photos. I hope he has great long underwear because it's supposed to be like 25 degrees over there, which may result in Sonny writing another column about how baseball needs to be moved to the summertime for the colleges and the high schools. Yeah, that's a little inside joke that you and I have with Sonny. Don't tell him I said anything. Now, you better tell your friends that I said a lot about Lehman's Hardware and Old Time General Store. Here is the natural peanut butter stirrer made by a real citizen of Wayne County, Ohio. These kinds of products are what you can get at Lehman's, local craft-made products. Here is the very cool cast iron skillet that all you campers and kitchen aficionados need, stamped with the official Lehman's logo. There, you can see it right there. And we hope you will take the opportunity to avail yourself of all the great products at Lehman's. Lehmans, Lehmans. Order 24/7. Use the promo code PressPros10 to get 10% off your purchase right now at Lehmans.com. They are open 6 days a week, 4 miles south of Route 30 off Kidron Road, but they are open right now, and they'll be open all night, and they'll be open through the mid-morning hours and every single day at Lehmans.com. Follow us on Instagram, Press Pros Magazine. Lot of videos coming on our story from last weekend's state tournament, and follow us on Twitter at Press Pros Mag. Follow us on Facebook, which now we're all linked back in with our friends at StreamYard. Have a great weekend. I will update you tomorrow on the NCAA tournament draw and on Ohio State's fortunes in West Lafayette, and maybe a little bit more on the irony of the Cleveland Browns signing DeShaun Watson and having to apologize for it. Until next time, take care. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.